Craig, yesterday Natalie closed the first chapter of her recovery. Her mom spent all but 4 hours in Atlanta and slept on a recliner next to her bed, asking her whether she wanted to see the glass half empty or half full. It wasn't easy at first, but she chose half full.
Natalie is out of here!
Almost 100 days after the accident, Natalie Eaton graduates from inpatient therapy at the Shepherd Center in Atlanta.
Inpatient therapy is merely the first step of a marathon.
A step Natalie sees as a leap.
This is her determination and her hard work really did get her where she is.
One of Natalie's physical therapists, Kathy Duggar, says the first couple weeks were tough.
She was in a lot of pain.
But those who stuck by her side say she never gave up.
Natalie's shown such a grace and just such a positivity to get to where she is that it's just making her testimony that much greater.
Natalie's mom, Fonda, says doctors originally said her daughter would never walk again. But to Natalie, never walking again wasn't an option.
I've had to relearn everything. It's almost like as a toddler.
Till God tells me different, then we're going to continue to believe that she's going to be 100%.
Natalie is considered an incomplete quadriplegic, meaning the injury affected both her legs and upper body. And now she's working with a rare spinal disorder called Brown-Sequard.
Like when I put it flat with my other foot, it keeps the toe up.
She has movement on one side, but that side has less feeling, whereas she may have less movement on the other side, but can feel more.
Right after the accident, she couldn't feel a thing.
You just don't think you're going to make it out of something like that.
But she did.
And she's been an inspiration to me, and I think most people that have met her feel the same way.
She amazed me.
And Natalie continues to amaze every new person she meets.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to fall. Everything I've done I lost all the ability to do it. And so now, the little goals you meet, like doing your own makeup, is a big deal. And so, it's just the little things, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Natalie says her main goal is to return to A-State and be able to walk to her classes next fall. But her goal for this week is use her walker and get her own plate for Thanksgiving. After this trip home for Thanksgiving, Natalie will return to Atlanta to start the day therapy program on December 1st. Craig?
Anyone who knows 14-year-old Grant Leslie knows that when it comes to the drums, he has amazing talent. But when Mother Nature sounded her fury April 27th, all fell silent for this young musician. Tonight, we share the moment, though, that he gets the surprise of his life.
It was November when we first met Grant Leslie. He jammed big on the drums while our cameras rolled. Beating away, he shared with us then, it's a form of therapy for him. His mom, Westy, at the time, explains that Grant was diagnosed at birth with a rare condition.
The doctor automatically knew that he had a condition, arthrogryposis multiplex congenita.
You can see the effects while Grant plays out his other passion, baseball. His condition keeps him from bending his arms and his feet. Miraculous, then, that he can even move his sticks enough to beat his drum set. Now fast forward to spring.
It was just complete disaster. Everything was just kind of destroyed and very heartbreaking.
April 27th, Grant and his family in the direct path of a deadly tornado. Look closely at this photo. There's a pink mattress. That's where the family took cover when it hit. Their Mayflower home leveled, a total loss.
It's loud and everything's falling down on us, and then it just stops. And then we look around and we see that our house is gone. Lost everything.
Including your drums?
Including my drum set. That's what I was torn up most about, my drum set.
Now fast forward to today, the Guitar Center in West Little Rock. Grant enters the store thinking he's simply here to look and dream about a new set of drums. Little does he know, he's about to get the surprise of a lifetime. Our photographer in open view pretending to do an interview on a fake drum off. Our photographer asks Grant to play for the camera so he'll have video for the story. Grant in full compliance on throne, beating possibly the nicest drum kit he's ever played. After a minute or two, a group of us walks in to share some very big news, but he won't stop playing. When he finally quiets down, the Guitar Center's Jeff Morgan steps up.
Grant, on behalf of all of us as musicians, we got this kit for you. We heard your kit was damaged in the tornado. So this is your new drums, courtesy of DW Sabians. This is your kit. Everything, the stool, everything, this is your drum set.
No.
Shock for this young man, and not a dry eye among those of us watching it unfold.
Thank y'all, all of y'all, thank y'all. Man.
The stars really aligned in this whole thing. Really, it all kind of just fell into place, so everything good happened.
I thought it would take a very long time to replace, since, our living conditions and everything, we're living in an apartment and everything. I just thought, it's gonna just take a long time to get a drum set back. It takes me away. It can't really describe the feeling I get when I play the drums.
A young drummer who, despite challenge after challenge, keeps making music.
Love it. I can't wait to play it. Can't wait to move into a house and just play this thing all the time.
DW Drums and Sabian Cymbal Company, along with an anonymous donor, made this happen for Grant. Also, Conway Institute for Music donated Grant a year of free lessons.
This is what I found again.
Oh. As soon as Edna Odom saw the envelope, tears started trickling out of her eyes. And the tears refused to stop.
I just want to hold the letter up against me and keep it there.
She did keep it there, only to pull it away to take a closer look.
That's his handwriting there.
Odom says her father, Charles J. Skaggs, wrote the love note to her mother, Edna Mae Smith, 2 months before their wedding.
He called her Mickey. I miss him so much.
Because of Paige Hess, Odom relives a moment with her parents.
Even if it looks like trash, glance at it for a second. It might be a little piece that somebody's been searching for.
A missing piece.
Like a puzzle found its spot.
No one knew was missing until Hess spoke up.
I was fixing me a sandwich, and I was watching the news first. I heard something about a love letter being found.
It wasn't until she heard the names Edna Mae Smith and Charles J. Skaggs before her ears perked up.
That's my mama and daddy, and they said it again. I said, that's my mama and daddy.
When we were talking on the phone, she could stop giggling. It was so cute.
In an instant, a new friendship forms, and an old love letter finds its home.
I'm just gonna leave this box here with you.
Okay.
Have you ever just stopped and listened to the sounds all around? Zipping in one ear and out the other. City worker Roosevelt Duncan has for more than 25 years, listening to the roar of his leaf blower every day.
Yeah, it's the blower that gets me.
It's on the blower.
It's on the blower.
A hum that Duncan turns into a concerto for all to see.
It's helped me to do awesome, dances.
Angie Allman saw Duncan on a day that she needed it most, more than 2 years ago.
My mother had just passed away from cancer. A long battle.
Driving to work, digesting the news on a day where everything looked gray, Angie looked out her window and saw this. Roosevelt, rocking and swaying with his dance machine in hand.
It's like you are looking for something to give you hope at that time. And I just thought to myself, he was so happy doing what he was doing. And, I thought to myself, I wonder if he knows, how he affected my day.
It turns out Roosevelt didn't, and still doesn't, even though Angie has looked for him on her way to work every single day for the last 2.5 years.
So he has no idea that you exist, and he has had an impact on you for that long.
No, he doesn't, and that's what's so awesome about is he has no idea how he has affected and gives me that little bit of happiness and sunshine when I needed it. So it's pretty cool.
Behind Bryant's wins.
I know I'm not alone when I'm here.
Everybody out there playing like it's your last chance to play.
In pregame speeches.
What happened to us last Friday night? Did not expect it.
I'm surrounded by my brothers.
Lies the Hornets' backbone.
I'm just like, that's my boy Eddie.
Yeah. Senior Eddie Hedden.
I mean, he's strong. That's for sure. We've seen him do some crazy things. He's somebody that I know I can and a lot of other people can. We can count on him to lift us up.
He goes above and beyond, making sure his teammate Swag looks up to par on game day.
Well, I do whatever I can to make sure they have everything that they need down here.
Do you see yourself as different though?
Not really, but I know I am.
Hedden has stood out since he was born.
When I was not supposed to make it this long.
In fact, doctors projected that he would only live until he was 5 years old.
The doctors, they've been doubting me, and I've just been proving them wrong.
Hedden was born with a birth defect called spina bifida, meaning his spinal cord and its coverings never fully developed. He's never known what it's like to walk on his own 2 feet.
To know that he can still lift other people up and be the guy he is, it really is inspiring.
Hedden says his attention to his upper body strength is the only reason he's still alive.
If I don't work out, I can lose my strength really easily. And if I lose my strength, I lose my independence, and to me, that's worse than dying.
As Bryant football's team manager, he has full access to the weight room. Whether it's fitting in time on the bench press before practice or making sure a jersey is crisp for game day, Hedden says football just helps him feel like one of the guys.
I hope I inspire them, but if I just get a thank you out of them for helping, that's all I really want.
Good evening. What if wearing certain helmets could reduce the risk of a concussion? Well, one study says it can. THV 11 and our Gannett company have been investigating this for several weeks now. Collectively, we've spent hundreds of hours reviewing hundreds of documents from high schools across the country. Here's what our team found in Central Arkansas.
It's been nearly 5 years since Timothy Robinson last played football. He can barely speak and is confined to a wheelchair. His mom is now his primary caregiver.
There's times where, I cry and I go, what else can I do?
During a game, the 18-year-old Alabama high school student suffered a traumatic brain injury after a simple tackle. The next year, his family sued the helmet maker. The company settled the lawsuit for an undisclosed amount of money.
Nobody should take it lightly that it's not going to happen to them. I didn't ask the questions and I knew better.
Which is why Evelyn McGee hopes parents will pay close attention to a study conducted by Virginia Tech University. They tested various makes and model football helmets 120 times at different heights and different directions. The amount of impact absorbed by each helmet was measured, which led to this 5-star scale. These stars are based on the probability for a concussion. So the lower ranked helmets, the not recommended and 1- and 2-star helmets, show the highest risk for a concussion. The NFL confirms they posted these ratings in every NFL locker room in the country. Dr. Stephan Duma at Virginia Tech published the study.
When you look at the differences between the 1- and the 5-star helmets, it's so dramatic.
So we wanted to know how high schools in our area measure up to the 5-star standard. THV 11 sent open records requests to 27 high schools in Central Arkansas, asking for the makes and models of helmets being used. After spending several weeks reviewing the documents, we found the majority of the high schools do have 3-, 4-, and 5-star helmets, including those in the Pulaski County Special School District. Athletic Director Danny Ebbs.
We're always looking to make things better. You don't have to be sick to get better, and we're always looking for better ways to improve the performance and the safety of our athletes.
Ebbs wasn't aware of Virginia Tech's 5-star system until we told him. And even though his district's helmets rank well, he now plans to strongly consider the study for future helmet purchases. Of biggest concern, though, to Duma is North Little Rock High School. 17 of their helmets rank as 1- and 2 stars.
We're big advocates for schools getting rid of their old bad helmets and getting newer, better helmets. And I haven't run across any expert that's ever disagreed with me on that point.
So we took the 5-star system to North Little Rock School District Athletic Director Gary Davis.
We were unaware of this study, but it did bring light to some concerns.
As for getting rid of the lower-ranking helmets before the next season, he wants to do more research, but says there's a strong chance.
We definitely want to be on the safe side, so we'll do all we can within reason, like I said, to make sure that our students and our student athletes are best equipped.
But Dave Halstead with the National Operating Committee for Standards in Athletic Equipment, or NOCSE, disagrees with Virginia Tech's study. Their tests of high school helmets have been around since 1973.
I believe there's a serious disconnect between the STAR rating system and what mom is trying to prevent, which is a concussion. STAR rating system doesn't have the support and able to do that.
Every high school helmet must be certified annually and reconditioned every year after that to meet NOCSE standards. They don't have a STAR system, but rather a pass or fail system. Either the helmet has enough protection or it doesn't. If you meet NOCSE standards, the helmet is good for use.
Where I find that there's a problem is where they say, this helmet is a 5-star rating and will result in fewer concussions than this helmet that's a 4-star. There is zero science to support that. And it is a leap of faith that I think is premature.
As for Timothy Robinson, his helmet was rated a 2-star by Virginia Tech, falling in the adequate category.
And I think everybody should be looking into what type of helmet their child is wearing.
By sharing their story, this mom hopes more concussions and traumatic injuries will be prevented.
Bring it to the forefront. Make it so important that you realize that, hey, this is my child.
So no other player is forced to watch from the sidelines.
As for the cost, you may be wondering if the better helmets are more expensive. Well, we found there are actually 4-star helmets that are less expensive than the lower ranking helmets. Now, if you as a parent want to know exactly what helmet your son is wearing, we've put all of our findings online at THV11.com. Back to you.
Sirens sound telling people on the Little Rock Air Force Base to go inside and stay inside. At 11:45 Wednesday afternoon, officials put the base on lockdown. The reason, a suspicious individual.
They're going to do what they need to do for, to protect everyone.
Royal Nordstrom retired from the military. A couple times a week, though, he drives to the base. This time, he encountered this, a line of traffic on both roads leading to the base.
After about 10 minutes in my car in line, I says, well, I'm not going today, so I just left.
He was heading to the commissary. 2 hours sooner, and Nordstrom would have been with this group. Michelle Myers sent this picture to THV 11, saying, "Safe and sound, I hope." Base personnel told them to stay and move to the back of the commissary and exchange.
Comforting that they take action like this?
Well, on any military installation in this country, that's exactly what they do.
According to military installations, the Little Rock Air Force Base is about 6,000 acres, with about 5,700 active duty and another 5,500 family members. People living on base received a phone message about the lockdown. And as the sirens continued to sound, family members turned around, not knowing exactly why.
This guy looks like it, and he is nervous, and he's out here at a bus stop.
Just one of the handfuls of calls to police this morning as the suspect wanted in the disappearance of realtor Beverly Carter is taken into custody. I'm Dawn Scott.
And I'm Craig O'Neill. In 4 days of searching for Carter and about 16 hours trying to track down the suspect, Aaron Lewis, all coming together today in Pulaski County. This is our team on top of this story for you tonight. Dan Grossman and Alyssa Raymond outside the sheriff's office where Lewis is being interrogated.
THV 11's Phil Buck joining us with the dramatic details of the sharp-eyed Little Rock residents who led police to Lewis this morning. And our own Macy Jenkins standing by in Scott, where search efforts hoping to locate Beverly Carter have been based since Friday.
Let's get to the latest on the interrogation. That means we go to Dan Grossman and Alyssa Raymond.
Craig and Dawn, Aaron Lewis has been held here at the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. It's about 11:45 this morning, being interrogated by investigators. He was turned over from the Little Rock Police Department to deputies earlier today, shortly after he was arrested just after 10 a.m. this morning.
And we also learned more about Lewis from neighbors about what he's been up to for the past few weeks.
But for right now, investigators say what they're looking to do is get any information out of Lewis that might lead them to Beverly Carter.
We will have him here for as long as we need to determine what we can from him.
In 5 hours since Sheriff Doc Holliday spoke those words, 33-year-old Aaron Lewis is still in custody, being questioned for his role in the disappearance of 51-year-old Beverly Carter.
He is an individual facing some very serious charges. We will have to see how cooperative he is as the day progresses.
Right now, those charges are only for kidnapping, but could escalate depending on what investigators find.
Suspects don't always want to cooperate.
And Lewis is a familiar face with law enforcement. He has been arrested multiple times in Arkansas for nonviolent crimes, including once in Missouri and also in Utah for robbery. Before he was arrested Monday morning, Carter was out on parole for a theft crime he committed in 2010. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but was released on parole last August for good behavior. But now he's back in the arms of authorities as they work to piece together today information to find Beverly Carter.
The fact is, at this point, we don't know where she is. She could be anywhere, and it's our job to find her, get her back to her family.
And Lewis is being held on $1 million bond. But Alyssa, earlier today, you found a little bit more about Lewis from his neighbors.
Yes, we stopped by Lewis's home. It's on Randall Drive in Jacksonville, and I spoke to a couple neighbors, but one woman I talked to, she just wanted to be identified using her initials, but she did speak to us, and she said a lot of changes she has noticed about Lewis over the past few weeks.
It's down to the point now where you can't even trust your neighbors.
GC lives on the same street as Aaron Lewis. When she woke up from a nap Thursday afternoon, she says she had a missed call from him.
He was trying to get a hold of me Thursday afternoon to come help get him out of a mud hole that he got stuck in.
She says he told her what he was calling about when she saw him later that day washing mud off of his vehicle in his driveway.
He wasn't smiling. He had scratches on his face.
She also noticed his shaved head. She says when she saw Lewis Thursday morning, he had hair, and neighbors took note of something else.
A couple of us neighbors noticed that he had lost a great bit of weight, between 10 and 15 pounds he lost within the last month.
GC says Lewis lived here with his wife for about a year and a half. He told her he was on parole, and she says she thought he was getting his life back on track. When she heard police arrested Lewis in the kidnapping of Beverly Carter, she says she wasn't completely caught off guard.
Anyone is capable of anything.
And neighbors told me that they noticed that investigators were looking through a trash can outside of his home and that they did recover an envelope. And I did ask Dan to talk to the sheriff's office today to find out if there was any details that they could give us about that.
You know, they're being very quiet about what's going on in the interrogation room. They say they do not want to release any details until the questioning process is over. But again, this is a story with very many developing details, so we'll make sure to bring you the absolute latest. But for now, reporting live in the field, Dan Grossman alongside Alyssa Raymond. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you both, Dan and Alyssa.
Hundreds have been volunteering throughout the weekend and into today ever since Carter disappeared on Friday. And KTHV 11's Macy Jenkins has been at the staging area for those searches today and joins us now. Macy.
Craig and Don, we're nearing the end of day 4 of the search for Beverly Carter. And even with a suspect in police custody as we speak, the Carter family is still anxiously awaiting any new details.
We have the guy, and now he needs to tell us where she is.
A frustrated son hopeful that the arrest in his mother's disappearance is one step towards finding her.
If I have a biggest fear, it's just that he would not speak and he would not tell us what he knows and what he should.
The search for missing real estate agent Beverly Carter continues.
Nothing's changed for us. We're looking for Beverly.
On Monday, search teams combed through the area north of 165.
We're doing what the police don't have time to do.
Over the last few days of searching, officials say they've had great cooperation from neighbors and homeowners in the area. Altogether, they've searched 20 square miles of land. David Goldstein is head of the volunteer search teams.
Those teams have been deployed this morning to the area immediately surrounding where Beverly was taken from.
By horse, foot, and ATV, they want no inch left unsearched.
We searched everything. We searched swamp, bean fields, cornfields, residential areas, sides of highway, everything you can think of.
Backup from Clark, Logan, Van Buren, and Grant counties, all here to keep looking. And Monday, the search expanded to Lone Oak County.
Wherever she's been, whatever has happened, whatever is going on, getting her back is our #1 priority, and then we'll let the justice system take care of him.
Right now, Carter's husband Carl stands strong in his faith and remains hopeful that he'll soon hear good news.
She's going to be all right. She might be beat up, banged up, teeth knocked out. I don't care. Just bring her home alive.
Now, some of the volunteers have been here since Saturday. A question I've gotten from them today is, what is that connection between Lewis and Carter? Still no word yet from police. Reporting live in North Little Rock, Macy Jenkins, THV 11 News.
All right, thank you, Macy.
Here is a look now at what has happened since Beverly Carter was first reported missing. Well, Thursday night, September 25th, Beverly's husband, Carl Carter, tells deputies he went to a home his wife was showing around 9 p.m. because he had not heard from her. When he found just her car and purse at the home, he then called police.
Friday, the 26th, Pulaski County deputies shared with the media the crews were searching for Carter that day. Carter's husband told THV 11 he received 3 texts in a row around 1 a.m. saying things like, "My battery died," and about drinking with friends, but Carter told us that's not like his wife, Beverly.
Well, Saturday the 27th, more than 250 volunteers helped search for Carter in Scott. They searched areas near Old River Road, Interstate 30, and Highway 161.
Sunday, the search continued for Beverly. Around 6 p.m., deputies issued an arrest warrant for Aaron Michael Lewis on a kidnapping charge. Deputies say he was in a car accident Sunday morning and was taken to Baptist Hospital for treatment. Where he disappeared, deputies say Lewis was already a person of interest, but they weren't about to get an arrest warrant until he left the hospital.
Around 10 this morning, Little Rock police arrested Aaron Lewis on Green Mountain Drive. Today, crews continue their search for Beverly Carter. You can find this full timeline of events on THV11.com.
Hi there, and welcome back to your Hog Zone pregame special here on THV 11. And since we are THV 11, we thought we'd bring you our top 11 plays from the 11 games that the Hogs have played so far this season. That's where our own Hayden Balgavy picks things up.
The Hogs have played 11 games so far this season, so we're breaking down the top 11 plays from each game. We kick it off with Auburn and the sensational sophomore Hunter Henry. Brandon Allen sells a beautiful play action to find Henry wide open in the back of the end zone to make it 7-7. Hogs would lose this one 45-21. Game 2 against Nicholls State featured many plays, but none better than the first play from scrimmage as Keon Hatcher takes it 80 yards on the reverse for the score. Hogs put up an amazing 73 points in a rout over Nicholls State. Game 3, Hogs taking on their former Southwest Conference rival Texas Tech, and Alex Collins goes 84 yards to the house. The Hogs blow out the Red Raiders 49-28. Arkansas scoring 7 rushing touchdowns on the afternoon. Game 4, the defense gets in on the fun as Darius Philon picks up the strip sack and returns it into the end zone for a big man touchdown. The Razorbacks roll all over Northern Illinois 52-14 for their 3rd straight win. Let's hit up Game 5, the heartbreaker in Arlington, but still some very nice moments from this game. A.J. Derby escapes up the middle to find a wide open lane for the 44-yard score. Hogs drop the heartbreaker in Arlington 35-28 in OT. Game 6, more Derby. Hey, he's a horse. Razorbacks go to the 1964 throwback uniforms to battle Alabama as Derby takes the 54-yard touchdown pass all the way to the house. Arkansas drops a close one to Bama 14-13. Game 7, not much good from Arkansas's only game in Little Rock this season. The Hogs made it respectable against Georgia late with a 6-yard touchdown run by Alex Collins. Game 8, probably the play of the year and maybe the century as far as Arkansas Razorback football goes. 350-pound guard Sebastian Trottola tosses a touchdown pass in the Hogs' much-needed blowout win over UAB 45-17. Hey, hashtag Trottola for Heisman. You heard it here first. Game 9, a battle with number 1 down to the wire. Hogs facing a 4th and forever against Mississippi State as Brandon Allen heaves it to Hunter Henry, who makes the miracle catch on 4th and forever. It sustained the drive, but the Hogs would fall 17-10. Game 10, the best play of the night. Razorback fans waited for it all year. Brandon Allen takes the knee to seal a 17-0 victory over hated LSU. 17-game losing streak is over. The boot's back in Fayetteville. Life is good on the hill again. Can I get a woo pig? Woo pig. Game 11. Last week, the Hogs making Ole Miss look like the 8th worst team in the nation, not the 8th best. Rohan Gaines picks off Bo Wallace in the end zone and takes it 100 yards to secure another shutout for this amazing defense. They have now made history. Woo! On to Game 12, Mary. Woo Pig Suey.
Hayden, great work. We were out here just laughing at what you just put together. That was beautiful. Can I get a woo pig? Woo pig all over the place from our guys over here. But
woo pig.
Woo pig, that's right. And speaking of woo pig, our own Alyssa Raymond, I'm sure she's hearing a lot of woo pig where she is today. She's been at Gusano's talking with fans, getting to know people. Alyssa, how's it going?
Yes, woo pig. It's really starting to fill up in here. All of the tables on this side are filled up, but right here, I added myself as a +1 to this table and party of 20. They're expected to get here any minute now, right in time for kickoff. But you can see this place has so many TVs. There's 18 televisions here, and every single one of them is going to be on the Hogs game. And I'm told that a DJ is going to get here around 1:30 also. And anytime the Razorbacks score a touchdown, they're going to be playing the fight song. And taking a look around, there's a lot of big families here, parties of 10, 20, 6, 8, and there's families because, you know, Thanksgiving was yesterday, so they're getting to enjoy this time with their families and watching, hoping for the Razorback win. Decals up, Razorback hats, we have all kinds of gear on, so this place is about to get loud. Back to you, Mary.
Alyssa, a DJ? What? I love that. I love that. Hey, I'm a little happier to be actually at the game.
And when we get them all together, it's just the Brady Bunch.
Bouncing and jumping. Up and down altitude trampoline park, this clan is unstoppable. You heard 12-year-old Matea say they don't get to see each other. They are siblings in state foster care, forced into separate homes, now living apart. Matea is the oldest. Then there's 9-year-old Chloe.
I'm very sweet and I love to play. I love to ride horses mostly.
After Chloe, there's 5-year-old Izzy.
She's like more active than anybody in our family.
Then 2-year-old Jesse.
Jesse's a handful. He's so adorable, but he's a handful at the same time.
And the baby, 13-month-old Ryder.
He's like a little bear.
This little family left in a lurch when their birth parents' rights were terminated by the state, and they were placed up for adoption. Every single day, they pray someone will take them in.
You wake up every morning like, is it today something's gonna happen? And like every time the phone rings, you're like, is that my caseworker? Does she have a family for us?
Matea is the one who remembers the horrors of the past, the one who understands what this group is up against.
I just try to erase it all from my mind and then focus on today and tomorrow.
The littlest, Ryder, is just taking his first steps. Jessie is a typical 2-year-old jumping across the trampolines. Izzy bouncing her way into the foam pit. Chloe dreaming of how a real mom, as she puts it, would treat her.
Feed you, play with you, like watch TV with you.
The simplest things in life these 5 children so desperately need.
We might get on people's nerves at times because it is 5 of us.
But Matea also says she and her brothers and sisters refuse to give up hope that a family out there will bring them home.
With a place to call home, I'm Dawn Scott for THV 11 News.
Violent tornado in Valonia, extreme damage reported. That right through here, that is a major hook echo.
Oh wow. We're in it right now. We're in the tornado.
And it's all gone. This tornado absolutely wiped this building out.
15 people died in the storm in Arkansas.
Governor Mike Beebe has already issued a disaster declaration, and the head of FEMA is headed to Arkansas to get a closer look. Faulkner County is now declared a major disaster. President Obama made that approval yesterday.
We need heavy equipment.
We'll just have to dispose of it the best way we can.
They're picking up the pieces today, and that is what today is all about.
It's home. That's all I can say is it's home, and want to get to looking back like home.
Everything gets better eventually.
Welcome back to THV 11 News at 6:30 live in Valonia. I'm Dawn Scott, ending this week where we began with incredible heartbreak as a tornado ripped through this area, leveling homes, tearing apart businesses and breaking
we do so with a sense of healing. These residents ready to look ahead, ready to take on what is next for them, and that is a rebuilding process, looking for miracles as they do so and finding them. And THV 11's Dustin Wilson is here with me, of course, been here all week and have been speaking with the residents here. They are a resilient bunch here, and they are ready to heal and move ahead.
Don, it's been amazing to see how a simple generosity and willingness can make a world of difference. We spoke to a family today who saw that firsthand. A simple persistence about a dinner with a friend actually saved their life.
You go see Mommy?
Yeah.
5 days after a tornado tore apart Drew Baker's home, a fresh sense of what matters settles in.
Kind of hard to get upset over a house. You know, it's just a house. It can be rebuilt. Our family's okay.
Baker, his wife, and 2 little girls planned to be at home Sunday night.
You know what? It's just one of those days. We're just going to stay here.
But a persistent friend urged them to come over for dinner.
Go to Mommy.
Baker admits he didn't think much of the storm.
Just by the grace of God, we made it over there. She pretty much just begged us to come over, not having any idea about a tornado.
Volunteers help separate the debris. An insurance rep surveys the damage, and another helping hand shows up.
People you don't even know, they come together and give all they have.
$600 to help you and your family through the next couple days. I know it's not much.
Veterans of foreign wars found Baker, who's in the Air Force, and gave him a check. So far, they've given out $7,000 to 13 veteran families impacted by the tornado.
Where's your house? Right there? The tornado get it?
Unsure if he'll rebuild in Bologna, Baker waits for the next step and thankfully clings to his family. And another amazing element to this story, the Baker's little dog was actually in the home during the tornado. It was found alive about 2 miles down the road, Dawn.
Wow, that's incredible. A little miracle, as we were talking about in the midst of this tragedy. A lot of miracles here. One man I spoke with today, I asked him how he's doing. He lost everything, and he said it's the helping hands, the strangers, and the friends who have surrounded him and lifted him up that are keeping him going. And I asked one of the volunteers, hey, why do this? Why come out here and give of your time? You're not being paid for this. No one asked you to. And the man simply replied, because I can. That is the spirit that's out here tonight. And not only that, but one example of a community coming together, a simple ball field, a little league field here. And Meredith Mitchell explains more of this.
A backdrop of destruction Friday morning. Teams of volunteers began clearing debris from the Bologna Sports Association's fields.
I mean, this was just a place for everybody to go. They'd walk from school down here, you know, they'd spend all their free time down here.
Chandra Forthman, whose 2 children play ball in the league, says teams had just started their seasons when the storm hit.
We'd spent hours, months out here getting it ready for playing, and we were in full swing.
Now, those games will have to continue from temporary fields in nearby Conway. The cleanup just getting started, but Forthman says the boys and girls of summer will play ball here once again.
We're hoping to have it ready to restart building at some point next week. We've already got people that have donated help, supplies, and everything.
Resilience and strength of the people here. Even a FEMA official told me he has never seen anything like it. He's been on the ground, multiple disasters, and says the people of this county are so resilient and so strong. And that is what is helping move them forward here today. Denise, Craig.
Don, thank you. Sunday night's tornado forced the Mayflower School District to close for the entire week, but they will reopen on Monday.
THV 11's Marlisa Goldsmith tells us how teachers are getting ready for students to return.
Mayflower schools are preparing to open after being closed for the week.
Right there where he just had that box.
The middle school gymnasium has transformed into a distribution center filled with volunteers helping those affected by the tornado that left many without basic essentials.
We have about 50 to 70 children displaced.
This senior has spent every day this week helping his classmates and community, but is eager for things to get back to normal.
I really am ready to go back to school. Next week is seniors last week, too.
But the younger students don't seem to really have that same eagerness.
I only like math in school and reading.
Although Aubrey and Lily are only in the 1st and 3rd grade, they completely understand what the tornado did to their town, which is why they say they're doing what they can to help other children like themselves.
I started maybe 2 days ago.
At first, these two were torn. on the fence about getting back into their textbooks. But they quickly made up their mind, saying they're ready when they realized what getting back to school would mean for the storm victims.
For these people to have a home and for them to learn and stuff.
KTHV 11's Marlisa Goldsmith reporting there. And in a sign of the progress in Mayflower, in just a week's time, the city says the curfew is lifting tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning at 7, the overnight restrictions in the city will end. It had been in place to prevent looting in the disaster areas. We'll be right back.
He was kind of running, so we decided to put our boots on and see if he knew where he lived at, and sure enough, this is where he landed.
Back live in Valonia, nearly 1 week after a deadly tornado ripped across Faulkner County. I'm joined by the Sheriff, Andy Schock. Thank you for being here, Sheriff, and tell us the latest details that you have.
Well, we do have some details. I just spoke with David Hogue, our civil attorney. There's a total of 418 homes destroyed in the tornado, 115 with major damage, 248 with minor damage, and 74 homes affected.
You lost
that's a lot.
That's
a lot of houses.
You also lost lives. How does your community move forward after having lost what you have?
You know, prayer works. Prayer works. It always has and always will. You know, you don't have any choice but to move on. And you know, you don't forget, but you have to move on. I mean, those lives lost, that's what they would want. So you do the best you can. We've got some resilient residents in Mayflower, Saltillo, Valonia, and all in between.
It's an emotional time for you as well. Your family has been affected by this.
It is. My wife's aunt and uncle lost their home, and we had several of our cousins and that lost. With the position that I'm in, I haven't been able to jump in and help like I'd like to, but we've got our job that we're doing, and you know, you just do everything you can. You can't do too much.
This is a small community. You know a lot of these people.
I do. I've never lived anywhere but Faulkner County. I love Faulkner County. There are so many great people. There's so many great people that have come from out of the county. For example, there's 75 counties in Arkansas. But between me and Matt Rice, we've talked to just about every member of the 8 sheriff's office across the state. And the agencies that have come out and helped us, it's amazing.
All right, Sheriff Andy Schock, Faulkner County Sheriff, with me tonight. Our thoughts are with you as your county begins the healing process. Again, the sheriff telling us over 400 homes completely destroyed, many more affected, and lives lost in this tornado. But they are determined more than ever to heal from this tragedy. Back after this.
Lots of sunshine. Also, keep in mind, this Wednesday we will be live in Conway. Tom will be there all morning long, and we'll be there live all day long, actually. May 7th, as we head into Conway at the Kroger store on Salem Road. That's going to be a big deal. I mean, the Weather Radio Programming Day. If you don't have a radio, you can get one there. If you already have one and need it programmed, come on out and see us. That's going to be this Wednesday, May the 7th. We're coming to Conway at the Kroger store there. Right now, 72 degrees, dew point 33. The humidity very low, 24%. So it's really, really dry. The winds are calm and the pressure's at 29.91. But that's going to go up a little bit as we head into the weekend. Look at these state temperatures. Just a beautiful night. For May the 2nd, I'm telling you what, you know, we could be dealing with severe weather, but fortunately we're not. 72 here, 73 in Searcy, 70 up in Batesville. So for tonight, mostly clear and 51 degrees. Tomorrow, Saturday, 82, a little bit warmer for May the 3rd. Southwest winds 10 to 15. And by Sunday, we're back up into the middle 80s. Can you believe we're getting to that point where folks are going to be just a little bit warm over the next couple days? Right now, let's go out to Sarah. Sarah, I want to know if your toad won. What happened with your toad race?
Okay, so I came in second place. I came in second place in the toad race. But right now we're on the Fury. We're on the Fury and Toad Tug Days. This party has started here in Conway. Oh, that took my breath away. Okay, don't forget, we're going to be here all weekend. And on a serious are donating to this tornado relief. So stay with us. We're going to be here in THV in your town. We're going to send it back into you.
Back live again in Valonia, ending this tragic week in Arkansas where we began. The crew that I'm with, John Young, and I arrived here around 4 a.m. on Monday morning. Sunday night, of course, the tornado hit and we got here in the middle of the night. We arrived to utter chaos. There is much more organization now. A lot of cleanup has been done. It's been remarkable the amount of power lines back up, of piles of debris that have been organized, and about lives beginning this process of healing. And joining me now is a woman who's been affected by this tornado, Alexis Cawthon. You lost your entire home in this tornado.
Well, there were a few walls standing, especially the one with the crosses on it, that showed me that the Lord was protecting us. But yeah, we lost most everything. We were able to recover a lot. Right now, I have a huge team back at our home that's been provided for us by a church family, that they're back at our home cleaning things and trying to be able to put them back together.
And they're just doing this out of the kindness of their heart. You're not paying them money. You didn't ask them necessarily to come.
They're doing this because of the Spirit of God. They're doing this because God has led them to serve, because that's what we're here to do. I've had a hard time receiving. That's something I've been called to be a servant, and I've had a hard time with that, but the Lord has shown me that because we are servants, it's like in the scripture it says that we are the bride of Christ, and in any marriage, the wife is supposed to serve her husband, and my husband is incredible, and I've been able to serve him, and if I do serve him in that way, he wants to lavish blessings upon me. And so I'm serving Christ in the way that I am, and so he wants to lavish blessings upon me. And I'm saying that not just for me, but everyone who is walking in faith and serving and being obedient to Christ. He wants to lavish those blessings upon us, and so he is doing that, and we are going to take those blessings and we're going to use that to rebuild. We're going to use that to spread his word. We're just going to take it to the ends of the earth.
You have to rebuild a home. Are you rebuilding in the same neighborhood where you lost everything?
Absolutely.
And everyone around you will too?
We haven't talked to everyone. A lot of them are still in the decision-making process. One thing my husband said as we were making that decision, he said, I don't want the tornado to win. I don't want to let Satan win. And so we're going to go back there, and whoever moves into those homes, whoever moves into that area, we are going to lavish them with the love of Christ.
And as you move forward, you've lost lives in this community, yes, some of whom you've known. Absolutely. How do you heal after something like this happens?
I have Jehovah Rapha. That means that he is the healer. He is inside of me, and he is guiding my every second, my every step, and he's giving me a transcendent peace that I didn't know was possible. I loved Tyler and Cameron like they were my own. Mm-hmm. It hurts deeply, but the Lord is giving me a strength.
All right, Alexis Cawthon, thank you. We'll be thinking about you as you and everyone here in Valonia and all throughout Faulkner County and Pulaski County begin this process of healing and walking forward. And as we head to break, we take a moment to remember the 15 victims who died in this storm.
Welcome back. We've covered the stories of survival, hope, and recovery since Sunday night when the tornado hit. You can watch all of our stories in one place, our website. On THV11.com, click on Arkansas Strong, Rebuilding Together on the left, quick links column. We also have an Arkansas Strong message board set up to help loved ones communicate with each other during this time of hope and recovery. Craig, over to you.
All right, thank you, Denise. National headlines. Consumer spending climbed 0.9%. Auto sales expected to pick up for the rest of the year. Donors that once backed Chris Christie now looking at Jeb Bush in the Republican presidential race. The chattering class will discuss those headlines on the Sunday shows coming up. In advance of that, let me start with my 2 cents worth. I could care less. Standing in a field in Bologna this week makes all those stories irrelevant. Standing in a field in Bologna turns material goods, the heart of America's economy, into debris, and opinions disappear in the effort to survive. THV 11 imported wonderful reporters from all over the country to help with our already wonderful reporters in producing story after story of triumph over tragedy. And we all watch and wonder, what if that was me? What if I was the one suffering the loss of family, or trapped in debris, or asked to provide emergency relief? That's a natural empathy-building exercise that causes us all to take action and ultimately produces thousands of volunteers. We experience the infinite majesty of something bigger than ourselves when we behold the wonders of nature, even when those wonders are horrible. All of this you see while standing in a field in Bologna. I love what one of our interviewees said as he tried making sense of it all. He said, "There are a lot of good people out there, and that is the only real headline that matters." Good night.